This is a remarkable conversation because the world is not aligned on whether AI is a threat or an amazing thing. But we do understand, like we learned with social media, like we learned with a whole lot of other things, that if it is not regulated or at least understood by the regulators like yourself, we could face a whole world of hurt.
But Ali, well, first of all, good to see you again. And let me also be clear, you mentioned the Screen Actors Guild strike and the writers' strike in the lead-in, and I absolutely support those strikes and the efforts, the members of the Screen Actors Guild, the members of the Writers Guild, to obtain their fair wages with these challenges, right? I think it's a classic example of how AI, on the one hand, is not new technology. Anytime you've been on your phone texting a friend and you have these prompts of what next word is probably going to be in your sentence, that's an example of AI, predictive AI, that a lot of people are familiar with, maybe not knowing it is AI. But AI as a general technology is evolving so quickly. The power of what it can do, it's innovating so rapidly on such a grand scale that, yes, a lot of the questions are very timely. What does it mean for job threats versus job creation? What does it mean for cybersecurity? What does it mean for being able to advance health benefits? What does it mean for national security? So I do think Leader Schumer has been right on to put the members of the Senate, both Republicans and Democrats, through somewhat of an AI boot camp so we can begin to get our minds around these issues and offer the right balance of guardrails without stifling the innovation and the upside of what AI can offer.
Right, because you're actually well situated to have this discussion because all of this is in your state. You've got the companies that'll make a lot of money out of AI. You've got people who work for those companies. You've got movie studios. You've got actors. You've got writers, the strikers, and the companies. You've got everybody involved in this. And that's just one little aspect of AI. It's all this other stuff about, is it actually in danger of undermining democracy? Are deep fakes that use your impression or my impression? Can we recreate this conversation where you and I are saying completely different things? Is it your sense that your colleagues in the United States Congress are equipped to take the information in that you're getting from the intelligence community and somehow process that into sensible regulation, whatever that may look like?
I do believe, and I think it's been smart for us to come together. Some are looking at it, for example, from an intelligence perspective, so maybe looking at it from a health perspective, some from a foreign relations perspective, some from a job creation and commerce perspective. And we've got to figure out all together, because it's not one or the other. It's the balance of all of the above. I'll also mention, Ali, proud and honored to represent California, where we are the hub of a lot of these tech companies that are on the front lines of AI innovation. Obviously, I represent the workforce that is making AI possible, but I'm also representing the largest base of consumers. So from a cybersecurity and a privacy standpoint, that is top of mind for me as well.
What I would, hope as a citizen of this country is that this conversation doesn't end up going the way the conversation about social media went when it hit Congress, right? Across the ocean in Europe, in the UK, and in the European Parliament, they really got aggressive about figuring out privacy and things like that. And in America, it became some polarized discussion about whether social media is going after conservatives or whatever the case is. Is there a way to have this conversation stay on track and not become polarized? Is it at the moment, at least to you, feeling like a bipartisan conversation about how we confront and deal with and benefit from and protect ourselves from AI?
I do believe so, not just because that's how Leader Schumer has structured it, it's how my conversations with colleagues on both sides of the aisle have been. I do think that is an important lens. There was a harsh lesson learned on social media, for example, and it's really hard to put the genie back in the bottle. And so let's learn from that and make sure we're putting some parameters in place, some safeguards in place before things like disinformation really gets out of control. As you recall, Ali, before I entered the Senate, I served as California Secretary of State. So it's one thing to have maybe a tweet or a post with erroneous information, misleading people about how they can go out and vote. A lot of people are familiar with Photoshop and how you can tweak an image and make it look different than what the original authentic picture might have been. But the power of AI to change people's voices, to create images that look darn real, but are fake and could be misleading, dangerous, maybe even physically harmful or deadly, depending on how you're swaying people's minds or perceptions. Those threats are real, and Congress, I know the Senate for sure, we're taking with that level of seriousness.